As we talked about in our previous video, the average guy coming out of college is pretty much screwed. He has to face uncertainty over job security due to AI, increased competition, and rolling layoffs that are occurring right now. What's more, with the upcoming rate cuts, even those with capital are going to find it hard to get risk-free returns and a passive stream of income. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what is coming next and, more importantly, ways that you can prepare for it, especially if you're aged between 20 and 35. What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Backed by my experience in economics, banking, and crypto, I help young people punch above their weight for their experience level and age and achieve freedom of their own definition without having to wait decades like everyone else. If all of that sounds interesting to you, do consider subscribing to this channel so you do not miss a future upload. With all of that spiel out of the way, let's jump right into today's video. So last time we talked a bit about how to survive in today's economy and the reality of being average. But today what we want to know is what is going to be next and how to prepare for it. And the first thing that seems likely to happen in the near future is the popping of the quote-unquote Western bubble. What we are seeing today has the innings of this. We're seeing sputtering growth in a lot of the developed economies, prompting traders to price in a jumbo rate cut. Furthermore, we're also seeing misses on jobs data as well as consumer sentiment. Against this whole backdrop, we've got increased capabilities of AI as well, enabling workers from lower cost of living locations to better compete. And the trend that all of this is pointing to is the eventual offshoring of jobs for the average person to lower cost of living countries, and ultimately a sort of equilibrium being reached at wages perhaps higher than those currently seen in these lower cost of living or LCOL countries, but lower than those in real terms that you see today in the developed world, which I will collectively call the West. Now, while this all might sound like some far-fetched doomsday prediction, make no mistake, the reality is that aside from a select few highly specialized sectors, a lot of us who live in the quote-unquote Western world have a misplaced sense of elitism that somehow being born and educated in one of these countries in the collective West. Once again, I am using this term loosely because there are a lot of Asian countries as well that fit under this kind of demographic and economic definition. We assume that we have an insurmountable skill advantage as compared to those in so-called less developed regions. This is indeed coming. We are seeing virtual cashiers being a thing. Restaurants are hiring people from the Philippines to serve patrons in the US. A major Singaporean bank has actually offshored quite a large part of its operations team, basically its back office, to Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. This is a continuation of what has been happening with Western banks, such as those in the UK, offshoring operations and back office functions to places like India, Poland, and others to take advantage of lower costs. With the introduction of tools like AI and every company and their dog trying to adopt Microsoft Copilot at the workplace, we in the collective West are going to be contending with increased competition from lower cost locations. And this is obviously going to lead to a lot of disappointment and disenfranchisement among existing workers, which actually leads me on to the second point, which is going to be increased disorder. Again, we are already seeing huge disorder and a society that is more divided than ever today, well, at least in a lot of these Western countries like the UK and the US. You're seeing riots in the UK. All you need to do is add a bunch of disenfranchised working age adults to the mix and you can put 2 and 2 together. This is likely the reality, with a greater divide between have and have-nots and an already fractured society in many places. So what is the solution to all of this and how can you prepare for this? That is going to be my third point, which is that we're going to see greater numbers of people opting out by choice and themselves heading for lower cost of living countries with similar or even higher quality of living. As I mentioned in my previous videos about moving to various places in Asia, a lot of these countries actually exhibit higher quality of living than what I saw back in the UK. As the wage differential gets arbitraged away over time, it stands to reason that people will find that it makes sense to move to these locations to accumulate capital by reducing their costs and increasing their savings margin. This then allows them to generate capital, which is yet another thing that you might want to do so that it can then eventually generate yield and allow them to escape from the entire paycheck to paycheck loop, which only seems to be getting bleaker by the day. Finally, if you're someone who is aged between 20 and 35 and are watching all of this thinking, well, what can I do more to prepare for all of this apart from simply having the pipe dream of moving to a lower cost of living country? Well, there is a video for you and that is coming very soon on this channel, so do stay tuned for that. In the meantime, if you want to find out about how you can actually survive in today's economy making use of a high-level framework, then you're going to want to check out this video here. All in all, hopefully you found this video informative and interesting. If you did, do leave a like and consider subscribing to this channel so you do not miss future uploads. With all that being said, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.